for identification. Do what my friend Digger did. He said, why do I have to show you ID when I'm not even obliged to have it, but you are? They need to show you 3 things upon demand, if you demand it. Their identification card. It'll be signed by the Solicitor General. Their badge is usually right there. They will have a business card. If they don't have a business card with their name and badge number that matches their ID card, you do not know you're dealing with a proper cop. And I've caught cops wearing fake numbers and giving out fake cards.
That doesn't jive.
It does. You need all 3. And when you see all 3 of those, then you know you're dealing with an officer who is in uniform. If he doesn't show you that, he's out of uniform. I don't have evidence that you're actually a real cop, and I'm not listening to you. And if you order me to do anything, it's under protest and duress. If he asks, later, if you get a chance, afterwards, please. What?
Here was the 3rd thing.
The badge, ID, and business card. Thank you. Ask him, are you giving me an order? And hope he says yes. Really, that makes you liable for a bill. They hate this. If they come up to you and what they like to do, they use presumption and assumption so often, they won't even ask you a question. They come to the window, driver's license, registration, insurance, look at them and say, apples, bananas, and pears? You're not making any sense. Like, you used a complete sentence? What is it you want? Do you have a driver's license, registration, and insurance? Or may I see it, is usually what they would ask, because they're operating upon a presumption too. You ask them, are you willing to claim under full commercial liability that I have an obligation to have such a thing in order to exercise my common law rights? Blah, blah, blah. And of course you don't. And they are learning about it.
Is that in your package?
Yep. Now, if they ask you, if they try to enforce a statutory obligation or restraint upon you, they're going to try to establish the evidence of a person. They want to see ID. They'll ask you, what's your last name? If you give a last name instead of a family name, they can assume that you are a person. One of the key things to a person, they need 2 things. They need a name and a date of birth. Without that date of birth, they have no claim that there's a person. Anytime a cop asks me, when were you born? Sorry, I wasn't counting then. Really wish I could help you. I've had cops say, okay, fair enough. When do you celebrate your birthday? I do that every day. Okay, good enough. If I wanted to send you a gift for your birthday, when should I do that? Tomorrow sounds good. You're late. You don't give them that information because you don't know that information. There is no way on earth you could possibly prove in a court of law that you know when you were born. Even anyone tells you, it's all hearsay. What they can establish was born was the legal fiction, that person. That you can point to, and you can point exactly when that was born. They create it.
So the person is the legal fiction.
The person is that legal fiction. If they try enforcing statutory obligations or restraints upon you, ask them. They'll say, oh, well, let me see your ID. Well, what evidence do you have at this point right now that you are actually dealing with a person who is subject to that act? Until they see the ID, they don't know. And I've heard stories. There was a guy who, he had his card, he got stopped, he had a driver's license. The cops are there and they're asking him, do you have a driver's license? And he's playing with them and, you know, I'm not producing that. I don't know why you stopped me. Nah, nah, nah. Cops are totally nice to him. He's about to get, he says, you know, I was this far to getting out of there. They were just going to give up, and then finally the cop asked me one last time, you sure you don't want to just show me your ID? I mean, it makes it so, okay, fine. The moment they saw it, right out the window. They dragged him right out the window. They put the cuffs on him, took him away. He was this close. But once they saw that there was a person they could act upon, they acted, and they will act very, very quickly, especially if you're being pokey with them. Try not to be too pokey against the guys with guns. That's one of the things that's helped me get this far.
Number one.
Do they actually understand the subtlety of such?
Cops do, absolutely. I have been talking, well, in the last 5 years, I've been working very hard to help educate them. And I write a lot of letters. But I've had cops who have acknowledged me, and they know me quite well. And I've talked to cops about other things. This information has gotten out there. I've had a couple of, one officer came and he asked, I expressed this to him. He said, that can't be true. I said, you go ahead and find out. And you certainly have a duty to due diligence anyways now, so you have a duty to go ask. Next time I saw him, he had been promoted and he was in plain clothes. And I really appreciate the information you gave me. They bump him up.
So it's not training that they get.
It's not the training they get, but...
As a person, they cannot act or whatever.
Yeah, and they understand it. I've had cops tell me when I gave them a guy's name, they said, well, the problem is there's two of him. And I went, what do you mean, there's two people? No, there's the person and there's the people, and just so you know, there's two of them. I said, so you're aware of the person? We're aware. They know. And that's why they are wanting us to get to the point. Nanny wants us to grow up. A lot of these cops, I've had many cops, well, 3 cops have told me in probably the last year, you know, if there were more people like you, we wouldn't need to enforce all these bullshit laws. I said, I'm working on it, buddy, I'm working on it. They don't want to do this. They don't understand what these words mean anyways. They don't want the conflict. They want the peace and they want the abundance as well. They would love to be loved. They would like to be looked at like they're good firemen, like they're your best friends.
What if a cop searches you without permission and finds ID showing you are a person such as a SEN or a DL or whatever?
Why do you have it?
Okay, so you're saying don't.
Yeah, and leave it at home. Unless you're using your person that day, you leave it at home. And if they search you, again, it's under protest and duress. It has to be a lawful search. And if you have abandoned your sin, they have no authority over you whatsoever unless they observe you breach the peace or someone comes and makes an actual accusation against you. So,
Field questions right now?
no,
Or do you want to finish
no,
it up?
later.
Okay.
Later. Clint, everyone. Yeah, and for the most part, if you're acting with respect towards them, you're acting within your own community standards, and all you're doing is asking them questions. You're not, I mean, there are some things you can't say to the cops. If they come and they ask you for driver's license, or if they say, do you know why I stopped you? It's usually not a good idea to say something like, because you're a power-hungry, tax-collecting tool of the state bully with a badge and a gun, and by stopping me, you get to exercise your powers, propping up your own frail ego, allowing you to believe for a short period of time you're not happy.